Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video, this is kind of a follow-up to a video I did in the past covering the Emdom Flex Inner Belt. Now this belt is one that I've come to greatly enjoy. This has been a great addition to my outerwear collection. However, I did find that this belt was just a little bit limiting. So for example, keeping in mind the fact that pretty much for me, this belt is used for the hiking, backpacking, and camping application. I'm not really so much of a tactical guy. So with that, I do have more of, say, a bushcraft style pant. This here is the Fjallraven Vita Pro trousers. And for me, this 2-inch webbing was just very difficult to get into these pants. And in reality, really didn't work. Now, this belt did work plenty fine for my more tactical style pants. Now, most of the pants that I wear on a daily basis are tactical style pants, so this belt has been definitely beneficial to me. The one thing I can say I greatly enjoy about Velcro is the fact that once you lock it into place, it is not going anywhere. There's no way that this can loosen up. And that's been a great advantage over some of the other belts that I've come to traditionally wear. More of these sort of webbing style belts that have a pass-through design, they can theoretically loosen up over time. And where in the backpacking situation you have a lot of weight tugging on your pants, having something that can loosen up definitely won't work. And for me, that's where this Emdom Flex Inner Belt came into play. But where it was very limiting for these pants, I really needed a good solution. So with that, I am making the case to Emdom to make a second version of this belt. Maybe instead of 2-inch webbing, it would only be like 1 5/8 inches, something like that, maximizing the overall span and width so that you get the most Velcro contact for your outer belt, hopefully allowing it to hold on tight, but making it small enough that it fits more standard belt loops. So, working with the people at Emdom, they have now developed their 1.5-inch Flex Inner Belt, and that's what I have here today. So with that, this is the product that we're mainly going to focus on today. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what we're about to talk about, do me a favor. Stay tuned. So for today's hike, I opted to wear a new pair of Vita Pro trousers. Now, if you've seen my channel before, I have worn the Vita Pro trousers for a long time. I just happen to have them in gray and black. They're a few years old, and I wanted to get a new pair. I found these for a real good price, and I was very happy with them. But the reality is, they're a waist size 34. Now for me, I'm basically a 32 at this point. So 34 is quite a bit different, but I find I can make these work. And what I've done is I use the Emdom Flex Inner Belt. Now, if you've seen one of my prior reviews on the Inner Flex Belt, it was a full-size 2-inch webbing. And that webbing was really difficult for me because the pants I wanted to wear really wouldn't accept the 2-inch webbing. Like these Vita Pro trousers wouldn't do it. So I reached out to the people at Emdom and I asked them if they would make an 1.5-inch version. And they have now since done that, and that's what we're looking at today. So on this hike, I have about 9 miles of hiking with pants that, granted, I wanted to wear them, but it's not like they're a perfect fit. And so I'm really relying on this belt to keep them exactly in place. Now, obviously, something like a backpack is going to be tugging at those the entire time. So I know that it's a good possibility when I really start climbing that it could kind of yank at my pants. But I also know that the Flex Inner Belt does a great job keeping your pants exactly where you need them. And that's what I'm really relying on today. So far I have to say, the Flex Inner Belt working very well, holding my pants in the perfect location. They haven't moved at all, and that's the nice thing about one of these Velcro systems, is that the belt itself can't loosen up. I mean, if you have a webbing that gets threaded through something, that can technically loosen up, and even my best sort of webbing belts do loosen up eventually after all the time of the pack weighing on them and just bending and stretching and moving around. That's just what happens. But having the Velcro definitely keeps this where my pants just don't move at all, and I know that belt is definitely not going to loosen up. But even though it doesn't loosen up, it's definitely comfortable. The flexible nature of it, having that sort of elastic band towards my back, is great. Now, I was careful to make sure I kind of centered that because I knew I wanted it to really stretch optimally, just for maximum comfort. And so I did make sure that I had the webbing and the stretchy elastic part literally directly in the middle of my back. Nice spot. So I've now had the opportunity to wear this 1.5" Emdom Flex Inner Belt basically as an everyday wear. Now, you saw it on the trails. It was very effective, did a great job holding up my pants, and in that regard, again, the Vita Pro trousers. Slightly different than this exact pair, but all the same, exact same cut, exact same size, and this belt worked extremely well. Now, I do have some pants that have Velcro enclosures. When you combine this belt with pants with Velcro enclosures, they are literally not going anywhere. They won't slide down. They won't pull or tug. They stay exactly where you need them. So for me, having a belt like this for the backpacking, camping, and hiking application, where once you set it and forget it, your pants are not moving anywhere. Now, generally speaking, this has been great. It has all the same features as the 2" belt, only with an 1.5" webbing. So you'll see here, nice little Velcro on this end. Durable sort of rubberized tab here that you can pull on. This is not going to stretch. It's not going to tear. It's a great durable material. So very, very nice material. Getting into this section of the belt, you do have the same sort of slots to hide or conceal different items. So if you looked at the original 2" webbing belt, here you'll see nice compartments capable of storing a good amount of material or gear or cash, keys, things like that. You don't have quite the same surface area inside the 1.5" webbing, but you do have a number of slots. So depending on what you're trying to do, you could definitely fold up some bills and get them inside there. The back panel, stretchy, nice and flexible, gives a nice amount of give while you're wearing these, so it keeps it nice and comfortable. Even though the entire thing's Velcro and holds very tight, at the same time it has just enough give to be comfortable. Again, another little rubberized patch in the back helps the belt stay exactly in place. And then you'll notice that here, the tags, this is a size medium, so you can buy these belts to size. I am right around a 32" waist. I've greatly fluctuated over the past couple years between a 34 and a 32" waist. Right now I'm basically right at a 32" waist, and this belt fits me perfectly. And then your loop end, basically what you're going to do is use this as a pass through. You're going to take the belt, you're going to pass this through, and then when you get it to the desired length, this just sets flat. Now, Emdom has decided not to do like a double back design. So here, without doing the double back design, they can pretty much give you a full range of adjustment by keeping the hook side and the loop side fashioned in that same orientation. So almost infinite adjustment. And that works fine for me. I'm getting used to it. It doesn't bother me. I'm used to the ability to basically get this belt where I need it, pinch this in place, and then lay that flat. And then all I'm doing at that point is tucking this little tail end in and underneath my belt loop to get it sort of stowed away. It's worked perfectly fine. So overall, this belt has been great. It's been the perfect addition to my backpacking, camping, and hiking application. So I really greatly enjoy this. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to have the 1.5" belt. I can wear this every single day with every single pair of pants that I have, and now definitely get it out on the trails. But one of the things that I really wanted to do was be able to add an outer belt to this as a system. I know it sounds a little bit funny, but again, going back to the hiking, camping, and backpacking application, I really wanted the ability to add this belt. So here, sort of more like a duty belt, I had the idea that I thought it would be great to attach a couple of pouches. Some of the backpacks that I carry, I really love to have my water and also a dump pouch right on my hip. Some of my backpacks don't offer me the really ability to connect them to the pack. So I thought I'd be able to use this belt. And what I really wanted to do was use this belt to attach it to the inner belt and create a system that was completely locked in. But what I didn't realize, and this is me just not being really the tactical guy, again, I'm more into hiking, camping, and backpacking, not really so much the tactical application. I thought that this outer belt was going to have the hook side of the Velcro, and then the loop side being on the inner belt, so these would mate together, give me a good system that literally wouldn't move. But really, both of these belts both have the loop side, and I don't really understand that. And if you're a tactical guy, please weigh in on this. I'm just a little bit confused. I thought that the two of these would perfectly mate together to make a situation where your duty belt would not slide at all. It would stay perfectly in place. Now, the first thing I realize is that the hook side's going to be a bit abrasive. So maybe the idea being that if this was all hook, it would be abrasive on your pants, abrasive maybe against your skin or different things. But for me, whereas planning on completely locking it into place, I think that's a moot point. I believe that for me, the perfect application would be to have this duty belt capable of lashing on my pouches, maybe carry my knife, have the inner belt with this loop side, so the hook on this outer belt, the loop on the inner belt, mate these together perfectly, and then have a situation where this sits nice and flat. Even though the buckle's a little bit beefy, it would still fit nice and flat underneath my pack strap and give me the ability to attach everything I need to. And that gives me the advantage where when I take the bag off, I still have my water, my pouch, and my knife on my belt. Then when I get to camp, if I want to lose a little bit of bulk and a little bit of weight and lighten things up, I could simply pop this off, rip it off, and I would still have my inner belt. So I'm a little bit confused about why this is crafted the way it is. Now, I think a lot of you would weigh in and say this is typical. So it is very typical that you have both loop on both sides. I guess give me a little bit of feedback. I'm looking for your advice. Is this the way it should be set up? And what can I do to connect my outer belt to the inner belt for an effective locked-in system? But beyond that, as I mentioned, this has now become a daily wear. There's just a couple little things that are kind of bugging me, and it's very subtle. One is there's been like little sections of this that are just kind of fraying out on me. It's not a huge deal, but little sections of the Velcro just kind of fraying off on the sides. I'm constantly finding I'm trimming that up. Now, it's not the actual stitching, it's just little bits of the webbing that are kind of peeling off. Not a big deal. And second is just a little bit of that sort of springy shock in the back's just kind of fraying out. Now again, I've literally been wearing this every single day for a couple of months now, so it's starting to show a little bit of wear and tear, but generally speaking, good and durable. Again, this thing is just, once you lock it in, it's not going anywhere. And to me, that has a ton of advantages over other types of belts. So all right, guys, there you have it. A real quick look at the Emdom Flex Inner Belt 1.5" after a full review of the 2-inch belt. Both of these definitely coming into play, having different applications for different size pants and for different reasons. For me, personally, the 1.5" definitely the way to go. Gives me an everyday wear, something that's flexible, it's versatile, and it's definitely a great addition to my outerwear collection. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.